Gigantic.
Hey, everybody, it's September 12th, 2024. Gigantic Pop, Glenn Rubenstein, Matt Morgan here today to check in with y'all. No set agenda today. Maybe we'll do some questions from the audience. We got some stuff to talk about. As Matt was saying off the air, you know what everybody's talking about this week? The big fight that happened Tuesday. The world was captivated for Pete Dunne versus Trick Williams, last man standing match on NXT. It's huge. 60 some odd million people wanted to see Pete Dunne and Trick Williams hash it out to be the number one contender for the NXT title.
So to be clear, because people beat me up over this, right? Especially a wrestling fan that lean a certain way. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
I just got reelected in office, and I'm a very proud conservative with conservative values. But with that said, I was incredibly disappointed with the presidential debate. Trump had an easy layup where every single answer he should have answered, no matter what the question was. Hey, Donald Trump, is the sky blue today? He should have just destroyed them with the border and P.S. his past policies that made our economy as successful as it was back when he was our president, right? And he could not do it. He cannot hold himself into doing that, because what I predicted from day one, Kamala would bait him, and she did a masterful job to wrestling fans watching this, where everything's a work in our industry of pro wrestling. She did a masterful job of setting the trap, setting the bait to get every one of his 1 minute answers. At least 30 seconds of it was going to be tied to something to self-fulfilling with Trump, whether it was his crowd sizes, and they don't leave. What is she talking about? She's nuts. They don't leave my rallies. And other stuff that was very personal. He should have seen that coming from a mile away. Every conservative saw it coming from a mile away. I don't know why he didn't, or his team that saw it coming, because like every answer he should have given should have been, P.S. You've been in office with respect, Mrs. Harris, for 3.5 years. You had an opportunity to do all the ish you're about to say that you're about to do, make our country great. Why didn't you do it? But he didn't do it. He waited to literally the last minute of the debate with his closing statement to say it. So I was very frustrated as a fellow conservative watching that. But with that said, I hope he does do another debate and just speak on policy, because there's a difference. My personal opinion. And I know we don't like to talk politics because it separates wrestling fans, and I hope this is not separating you all. I'm just trying to be honest, because I was a lifelong Democrat until I started seeing policies that affected and positively my nonverbal autistic son Jackson with school choice, for example. The conservative policy. Don't anybody tell you something different. It is. And I saw in my household come tax return time and things like that on how it affected positively my household. So I had to start drowning out the personal stuff of, hey, is this person a great human being, or is this the person that's going to benefit my family under this roof, my neighbor's roof, and my other neighbor's roof, and so on and so on. And it was a lesson I had to learn while serving office myself as an elected official, to be fair. Because before this, I was a lifelong Democrat. So is my whole family. And living here in Florida, you live in Florida, are you a Republican? No, I don't. I got elected as an MPA, to be quite clear, originally. But I switched my party when I started to follow the policies, not the jibber jabber. Hey, I'm going to fight for the low guy in the totem pole, which the Democrat Party says they do, with respect. And oftentimes they don't put pen to paper to follow up on policy to fight for that low guy in the totem pole. With that said, because they've made Trump so the spawn of Satan at this point, he had to hit a grand slam in that debate. And I was very disappointed, if I'm being honest, because he had such an easy task of a person that had been in office for 3.5 years with the highest inflation, not a great, gas prices at an all-time high, and people can blame it on different things, but it's a layup to explain away in a debate. And he did not make the case to the American people. And I thought Kamala did, and she did the best part. And wrestling fans will respect this. She's sitting there as Trump's giving his answer. She's like she's so flabbergasted, like body language wise, that nobody could have watched that and go, okay, so he's lying right here. I'm assuming whether he was lying or not, it didn't matter because they believed in Kamala's body and facial expressions. Seriously. And so it's what it is. I just had to get that out of the way before we begin with wrestling because people are like, oh, Matt, you're a conservative. And what'd you think? So that's what I thought.
It was entertaining. I mean, and I say this to someone that in the first debate, I had to shut it off after 10 minutes because I think that just Biden got bodied and I couldn't take it anymore.
Bro, as a conservative, I felt horrible for. It was before that debate though, Glenn.
Yeah,
I felt the day he got elected, Biden. I felt horrible for him. Like his family, his people, whoever the hell put this guy up into this position because he can beat Trump. I'm like, I feel horrible for him because he's been wanting to be president his whole life. Here it is, and the poor guy doesn't know he has it.
Well, I don't think it was that bad. I think it started okay, but what we saw the debate was not great. But
I've always felt horrible for him, and I felt even worse that night for him. I did.
But I think in the spirit of competition and just a competitive marketplace of ideas, I think that man, if it was Kamala versus Nikki Haley right now, we would be having like a real.
No.
So? Who's your pick?
Vivek would hand her ass.
You think so?
Vivek goes on to all the left-wing channels and hands every single one of them their ass. I want Vivek.
He's good. Yeah, he's good. He's a good talker.
And he's incredibly young.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't know. I donated to the John.
He's got some
campaign.
extreme
What do I know?
viewpoints here and there that maybe I don't agree with, but nonetheless,
I think that's a little tough in this one. But no, it was entertaining. But here's the thing, though, Matt. I don't know that this stuff changes people's minds. Like this is a presidential race that's in the margins at this point because it's like people believe what they believe. It's become team based.
So let me be clear. Yeah, my fellow Trump supporters would not back off this. Like, this is the greatest debate ever. He said something like,
I mean, I won't go that far.
It was not. No, stop.
Yeah, it was weird, dude. I was watching that. I had an ear. It reminded me of when we used to cover NXT and AEW at the same time because I'm sitting there. I got the debate on one screen with an earbud, and I got NXT on the TV. I'm trying to pay attention to both, and it was challenging. But I don't know, man. I think that I do think. It's different. It's different as wrestling fans. I think wrestling fans have a different viewpoint.
On her feet.
She was good, dude.
Way quick on her feet. She's like, see this? See what I'm talking? Wait.
Yeah.
See what I'm talking about? You want this for another 4 years? Like she was so quick, and I hate to say any of it because her policies, no offense, are disastrous to our country. But I'll shut up. But personally. She talked about unifying the country together. She didn't give a shit what party you're in. Hey, come support us. We want your vote. She asked for everybody's vote. Trump did not do it. There's so many.
Yeah. I know. I mean, then when you get into Congress and Senate, it's complicated. It's why it's like I have to. I mean, honestly, like I go through time.
You're one of the few that understand that, though, Glenn. That's how it works. No matter who the president is,
because it's like politics is frustrating.
It has to pass the Senate, has to pass the House to get to the president's desk. You're one of the few that understand that, Glenn.
Yeah. So today, since we're starting already a little
we're starting hot.
So we got a bit of time. If people have questions, we'll take some questions from the audience. We'll talk about what they want to talk about, what they want to know. Matt,
sure.
I was thinking about our stereo days and the times when you would drop some bombs, or it was like, oh yeah, the time this happened to me. I was like, wait, that happened to you? I mean, let's get a little loose with it. It's a Thursday.
Yes.
But it's good to see everyone. We appreciate everyone's support. Thursday is going to be our new day. Raj could be back. If Raj was here, he'd do his Trump impression, which he gets.
I did not know he did that.
Oh, you haven't heard his Trump impression?
Is he sober when he? Wait, time out. Is he sober when he does it?
Debatable. But no, it's good. It's one of the better impressions. Yes, that Macho Man, Raj's go-tos. But yeah, and we don't have to talk politics and stuff, but we could talk about important things. But the important thing is, like Taylor Swift said, everybody do your research, register to vote, get involved in the process, and don't just show up every 4 years for president. You got local elections. You
No.
got midterm elections. It's important to be involved.
Hello.
Yes.
The only person doing a podcast today that is in local office, that's a former pro wrestler. And Glenn, dude, I was elected before Glenn Jacobs. Just folks keeping score at home, just to be real. But your backyard is where it starts. That's so true. Things you want to see done differently in your city or your county or your community, show up to your commission meetings, whether it's city or county wide. And you have 3 minutes of public participation. You can get up there and sing your piece about things you want to see done differently. That's how I eventually ran for office, because I was flabbergasted that we didn't have certain special needs in our community that we desperately needed. And that started to snowball into something bigger for me. And now here I am. I just gotten reelected for my next 4-year term. Just amazing. 2 weeks ago, I got reelected.
No, and on the flip side, I helped a friend run for city council in 2018 and learned so much about my city, I wanted to move.
But at least you did the work. You did the due diligence and the dig deeping.
Yeah, and it's not that hard. I would encourage people, like, it's too late for this year, but I'll tell y'all, like, it is way easier to get involved. You can join a local committee. You could be on the tech committee, the tree committee. There's a committee in most cities that meets to talk about what trees they're going to plant around the city.
Zoning committee. Yeah. You don't like the way that you have businesses popping up in your city? Join your zoning city committee that has a say.
Planning commission.
There you go.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge, and it's worth getting involved. So here's a flip side of this, and I got a story about this. I haven't told this in a while. Nick Anicelli wants to know, $1.99 super chat. Food contest you think you can win? Well, you're looking here at someone who won the Knott's Berry Farm pie eating contest when he was 8 years old.
Of fucking course you did, Glenn.
They just kept shoving the boysenberry pies in front of me, and I just dove in,
If it's BurgerFi single cheeseburgers, nobody will beat me.
Really?
I love BurgerFi.
Oh man, I just like a good burger in general. Even as a vegan, like you give me a good Beyond or Impossible burger, I could just eat that every meal.
Or one slice of pepperoni pizza. But see, here's the thing: how big's a slice of pepperoni pizza?
Yeah,
pepperoni pizza, I can destroy people.
Yeah, pizza's interesting. Are you a guy you go crust and all? You're not one of those like I leave the rinds behind. Yeah,
I dip the crust. I get 3 sides of extra marinara, 3 sides of extra garlic butter sauce. I dip the crust in it when I'm done.
Yeah. What's the average cheat day look like for Matt Morgan?
Twice a week. It's
twice 2 cheat days a week. Nice.
Friday night, Saturday night.
Nice. And what do you do? What do you do for your average cheat meal?
It's gonna be pepperoni pizza.
Yeah.
Friday night will be BurgerFi, and then Saturday night will be pepperoni pizza ordered to the house.
Yeah, it's pizza, man. That's my downfall. I've been doing well this year. I'm down 40 pounds, but when I'm traveling or something, that's always what I want. I want a good pizza, and I will just devour that thing
because it's the easiest to order, and it's guaranteed every city you go to.
And you know what it is? Think about when you were a kid, how pizza was the ultimate bribe. Oh, hey, the Book It program, you read some books, you're going to get free personal pepperoni pizza from Pizza Hut.
Bro, I hit the honor roll each quarter. Second honors or first honors in grade school in order to get pizza on Friday night. I swear to God.
Well, and I was thinking about this, talking about this with the wife yesterday. Do you remember how many things we were bribed with where the reward was pizza party? And it was just like, we're going to order a bunch of pizzas.
Huge.
Yeah. Like, why was that the thing we all just marked out for as a kid? It was like, oh, if there's a pizza party involved, sure, I'll pull weeds in the backyard, or whatever. It's like, that
because you hear the word party, your friends can enjoy. They're getting free pizza out of it, right? It's a whole thing.
Well, I'll tell you what the beautiful thing is. Here's the joy of a pizza party. Here's why a pizza party is truly the American dream for a child. Is because it's the idea that we're going to order the pepperoni, the cheese, the veggie, the Italian. We'll even do a Hawaiian pizza, and you're going to have the option. It's going to be like your own little pizza buffet. Remember when Pizza Hut had the pizza buffet, and you go there for lunch, you'd be like, oh my God, there's like 8 different pizzas. I get a slice of this one and a slice of this one. Oh, and there's dessert pizza and breadsticks. Like, as a child, that's the ultimate.
I would destroy it. I'd wash cars to raise enough money to go enjoy that buffet.
Yes. Oh man, think about how many poor car washes have been given and received in the history of this country. children and teenagers that were unqualified. Didn't even own microfiber cloths. Sat there with old rags.
No.
Drying
It was
cars.
a lot of times brushes. Yeah, just rags and brushes and like your dad's makeshift oil rag. If I'm being honest, mine was. It was his oil rag. Like, think about that. I'm like washing your car with his oil rag.
Yeah. Here's a question, Matt. I don't think I've ever asked you this, but this is peak Gen X, maybe a little bit of early millennial. Were you ever involved or present when somebody did their own window tinting on their vehicle?
No. We always had
never
a
that.
friend of ours who did it for a living and hooked us up.
Oh, okay. Like he worked at the store, but he got some extra material and he's like, come over on a Saturday and I'll do your tinting. And it would always have the weird bubbles because they would never do it right.
I had a Dodge Spirit that my parents gave me when I went to college and got a full Division I scholarship. So like, oh shit, we don't have to pay for this kid to go to college. Okay, you could take our family car. And I got it tinted out, and that's exactly what I got was bubbles.
Just the weird, messed up bubbles.
Yes.
On there. Okay, so here's the flip side. Going hand in hand with that, what about did you have the subwoofers? Or at the very least, did you crank up the bass and like put on?
You
like,
already know this story. You have to know this story. So I was a terrible human being when I was in high school.
Oh, jeez.
A Division I scholarship waiting for me, and my dumbass took risks, which was stupid, to get arrested and put in jail and do bad things.
That's right.
To go up to people's cars when they were not in them, break into them, and if I heard a system, I would follow that car into the beach parking lot where they parked. That was long term, and I would figure a way to get to their trunk, me and my friends, and I would steal that box with subwoofers, etc., and put it in my own sweet Dodge Spirit.
There was there's something about that. No, but there was something about that was national though, because I didn't do it, but I had friends that would go and steal like CB radio. I don't know why CB radios were still being used in the early 90s, but they would go, they would steal car stereos and CB radios. Like, but isn't there something weird where it is almost like a messed up currency where they would drive around and, like you said, steal something and then install it in their car where there were good odds that it would get stolen by somebody else?
That's usually how it worked. Yeah.
But isn't that strange? Like, just when you think about that aspect of car culture, it's so common. And because of that, that's why it's like I had friends that had the club, not Gals and Anderson, but the club that they would put in their steering wheel so their car couldn't get stolen. Or do you remember? See, did you have the car stereo with the face that came off, or the one where you had to pull out the entire stereo and like take that with you when you went inside someplace?
Not even. I wish that was way too futuristic for me. My parents gave me this CD player that was supposed to not skip.
Yeah.
If you plugged it in, you put it on your dashboard, it was anti-skip, would not skipped. So I just bring the CD player with me everywhere I went. Nobody was going to steal that shit, even if I left that in. It was always going to be if they popped my trunk and stole the box, and I stole from somebody else.
That's crazy. I mean, and then there was the big one. You'd have the friend that would try and flex because they're like, I got a 6-disc changer in the trunk, which meant that they would drive around listening to the same 6 CDs because that's all that was in their changer.
But come on. If you really remember those times, though, you would not get through those 6 CDs. So I'll give it to you. My friend John Black, that was his name, John Black. He had Eazy-E, he had Dr. Dre, he had the new Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, that was new at the time in 92, if I remember correctly, and some other shit. But we never, ever got through. Ghetto Boys. Yeah. We love Ghetto Boys. But like that was it. And like we at a weekend night, like we're not passing 2 hours worth of car driving with those songs blasting, if you think about it, because you get to where you got to get to, wherever the keg party is, right? Then you shut the fuck car off. So we never got through them all. I was really jealous of those that had the 6 CD changer for what it's worth.
Here's my issue with the 6 CD changer. And I know this is probably the thing that we disagree on more than anything, Matt. This is probably our biggest disagreement. Is my recollection from the last time we discussed this is that you are in favor of skits on hip hop albums whereas I think they are usually not very good.
What do you mean by skits?
We talked about this because you once claimed that Dr. Dre's The Chronic is such a perfect record that you not skip a.
Yes.
No, but
yes.
You said, I just want to be clear on this. You said a perfect record is one where you do not skip a single track, and I said
yes.
Single song or single track, and you said single track, and I'm like, so you're listening to all the skits every time you listen to it, and you said yes, and I was like,
hell yes. Are you kidding me? This is WNBA all saying with a swift dick in your mouth. Like, are you kidding me? Yes, Dr. Dre, The Chronic album was hilarious. Yes.
I went back and listened to that after the last time we talked about this.
I still stick by it. Yes.
I mean, like $20 sack pyramid, sure.
Like, so funny. The whole thing is funny.
There are some good ones, but I think skits on it, like Ice Cube has some very good ones. The one with Robin Lynch is one of my personal favorites, but a lot of times skits are just kind of like, oh yeah, that's a little rough.
I'll give you another one.
Yeah.
I'll give you another one. Biggie.
Yeah.
Biggie's original Ready to Die. Every intro was spot on. Perfect. Even from the entry of that tape, because I'm not saying CD, the tape, because that's how old I am when I bought it.
Yeah.
The intro to Ready to Die from Biggie was spot on perfect because he brings it to all the different years of his childhood and the songs that were important to him and his family, right before he eventually came of age, right, and did his thing. No, dude, I love the intros to it all because it adds context to the upcoming song for what it's.
I think that's when it's done well. I think when it's done poorly sometimes is when it's like a group of friends trying to make each other laugh, and sometimes the joke doesn't always translate.
So I'll give you the example to that. Warren and G's album, his intros were terrible. They were annoying, and it wasn't the same thing. It was not meaningful.
Yeah, I mean,
this is the dude who was in a rap group. He was in this is the dude that, by the way, is in a rap group with fucking Snoop before Snoop, like
213
came of life, right? 213. So he should have had something to talk about in those intros, but they farted it away, in my opinion.
It's really weird sometimes when I think about my teenage years and my education, and I'm a little fuzzy on some things about the founding of this country, on world history, but I can remember Ice Cube was in CIA pre-NWA, and then NWA originally had the Arabian Prince, and DOC was actually a member of the group. But then, they had falling out with them.
A big member of that group, actually. Yeah.
No, and DOC still was writing even after his Jeep accident when his voice got messed up. And
how screwed over did he get for what his worth was, if you really think about it?
When he's a lyricist, he never stopped working. Although then RBX wrote a lot of Dre stuff, and then RBX had a falling out with Dre, and it was a whole thing.
So, bro, do you really think DOC got his full comeuppance of what he was deserved on being influenced? Come on,
no. It's funky enough, classic hip hop.
Yeah,
it's great, and I think that his record, his early stuff was good. I think he would have been huge if he had not had that Jeep accident and messed up his voice.
Yeah.
He'd be alive. I mean, let's look at the upside, because there was a very bad accident.
True,
that he
that's
was
a good
in.
point. No, you're right.
And Dr. Dre definitely kept him employed. He kept making money, regardless. He just wasn't able to, and his voice has gotten better.
And he couldn't drop his name as often as he did in the first, like The Chronic, for example.
Yeah.
Greatest rap album of all time. You'll have to acknowledge it eventually.
I mean, I really like Straight Outta Compton, but
no, this is number one. And Nas, his first album is number 2 for me.
Interesting. And you know what I always found fascinating? You're not a big Beastie Boys head, which is interesting to me.
Because I don't want to say why. I don't want to be racist and things like that.
I mean, but you don't think License to Ill is like?
No, because they didn't go through shit. Like I want to feel what, if somebody's gonna rap something to me and they're gonna tell the story, I need to feel what they're saying is true, right?
Well, but not all of NWA
Beastie Boys
did.
were singing like Playboy magazines and come on.
Yeah. Well, I believe they went through that, but
they're top 10 for me for what it's worth.
Okay, but if you watch the NWA movie, it's like Eazy-E was about that life. Not everybody else was. Like,
that's not fair. But that's so not fair. Dre wasn't like, they make it sound like what? Because Dre was in the band he was in. That wasn't masculine. That means what? He grew up in like Fairfield, Connecticut, the suburbs.
Well, no, we know Fairfield rules hard, but no. I'm saying, but it's just, it's not all the greatest rappers didn't necessarily live it. You remember the controversy with Boss when Boss came out, when she came out, and people were like, she was an honor student. She was the first hardcore gangster rap female. Yeah, Boss. She had a guest track on AMG's record. She sold 1 million records, and then it was like, oh, she was an honor student in high school. She's not about that life. Like that was a big story at the time. I mean, remember, like, and to your point, remember Vanilla Ice got in trouble because Vanilla Ice lied. And he was like, I went to the same high school as Luke from the 2 Live Crew.
But
yeah,
the hook was really banging.
Yes,
it was.
Luther Campbell involved in Miami politics. Didn't he run for like mayor? And
I'll do you one better, which is much more powerful than Luke Campbell running for politics. He did. He didn't win. But Luke Campbell, a big part of Pee Wee Football League that we have seen multitudes of NFL prospects now come out of. So good on him for doing that, Uncle Luke.
Yeah, no, he definitely doesn't get his credit for that. You know, when I was at the Smithsonian in DC, they had Banned in the USA up on a wall, like in the pop culture thing, talking about his Supreme Court case.
That was a huge deal.
Huge deal.
Yes, it was.
I mean, Luther Campbell, regardless of what you think of the music, and believe me, I'll just say this: 2 Live Crew, for every banging song, because I used to like buy the records as a kid, I would be like, man, there's a lot of stuff here that sounds like this is just the first draft and they just recorded it. Like, there's a lot of stuff that sounds like they didn't really put in that much effort.
Yes, I agree.
You know, but on
because the raps were so basic. They were so like elementary, right? And they didn't even rhyme all the time, Glenn.
Yes.
They didn't even
and
rhyme.
Luke didn't even rhyme. Luke would just talk over the record.
Yes, he would.
Yeah, he had Fresh Kid Ice and Brother Marquise drop in the bars, and then Luke would just. And then Luke would have these tracks on the record called I Ain't Bullshittin', where it would just be Luke rambling over a beat about people that pissed him off and talking shit about them, but he wouldn't want to say their names. No. So he would say like, and this net, I want to talk about things you find on your table, like salt and pepper or kids that play. And it's like, dude, just say their names. We know who you're referring to. They're not going to sue you. It was the weirdest thing. Yeah, I started following Luke on Twitter. Luther Campbell's still going strong. Okay, yeah, we'll get Matt's camera to focus.
How do I do it again? You said wave.
Just put your hand up. Try covering the whole thing so it's dark. There we go, and then try removing it. No, it's still. Oh wait, there we go. It's coming.
All right, so get in wrestling.
Yes, get in wrestling. Let's get in some wrestling. NXT Julia beat up Chelsea Green. That was very entertaining Tuesday.
And I'm usually not a fan of anybody beating up Chelsea Green, but if Julia was going to do it, at least it'd be her, right?
Yeah.
And I said it last time we were on the show. She has what the kids call aura, right? She has a whole presence to her, and like we talked last time, Glenn. She does not need pre-tape. She does not need coming soon vignettes. She just doesn't. She's a mega star the minute she hits your screen. And if you guys can't figure it out, you're missing something.
Yeah. No, she so much presence. I think her versus Roxanne is going to be amazing. I'm so looking forward to that.
Oh my God, yeah. Because Roxanne's a beast in that ring. She's a little diminutive, but she can go once that bell rings. You forget how short she is, right?
Yeah, and I think Roxanne though has really grown into it as champ.
She has.
Yeah, I think that her presence is so big now, regardless of her actual physical stature. Like, she's very impressive.
She can work.
Yeah. But no, man, NXT was exciting. How was Dynamite last night?
I thought Dynamite, again, second week in a row, very good as far as forwarding their storylines go. It depends on what you think, because I have people like, oh, the John Moxley storyline's stupid. It's based off a movie of da 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 da. I don't know what the movie's based off. I'm not going to look it up. I don't care. But I'm very interested in what's happening with him and Darby Allin, if I'm being honest. And I loved, as a guy that wrestled back when, my brain farting on what his name was in Ring of Honor. Come on, he's the commentary now, but his different name for AEW. What's his? Come on, he was one of the greatest Ring of Honor champions of all time, along with Daniel Bryan back in their heyday. Come on. What's his name? I'm brain farting. He wrestled with me at Desmond Wolf as TNA. What's his name?
Oh, Desmond Wolf. Okay, Desmond Wolf.
Not Desmond Wolf, but come on. Why am I brain farting on this poor guy's name? God, that's
now I've confused myself. Okay, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get the chat's gonna get it. Chat's gonna help us out.
But why am I brain farting on his name? I feel so disrespectful because he's one of the greatest wrestlers I've ever witnessed in person.
You gotta go back, Matt. You gotta bring back old boy and old girl. And just
when I forget somebody's name.
Yeah, like I mean, you could just no sell it, man. Come on.
So folks, the former Nigel. Desmond, that was with TNA, and now he's with AEW as a commentator. He called out Bryan Danielson at the upcoming Arthur Ashe Stadium match. Thank you, Nigel. Christ Almighty, y'all should fire me for forgetting that name. By the way, yeah, y'all should fire me for that. Like, unsubscribe, punch me in the face for it. Because it's sacrilege. That's how good he has been for decades. And now he's in a commentary role for AEW because I never understood what was missing because all of his health ailments have been supposedly subsided. So what we're about to see at AEW, I've always been wishing for and hoping for that they would finally transition him from the announce booth to being an active pro wrestler if it was safe for him. And it's safe for him. And I'm so excited for him because he's one of the greatest guys. Go on YouTube and you can look up his various YouTube videos he's posted about, feeling like he left his career a little bit short because he didn't hit the heights that Punk hit or that Daniel Bryan hit in WWE. Or other Ring of Honor stars went on to get success with, Seth Rollins, etc. And Nigel deserves every bit of it because I'll argue he was always better than every one of them. People like, shut up, Matt. You don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because I watched the TNA when he was Desmond Wolf, and Kurt Angle come out of the ring and go, holy shit. He might be one of the best wrestlers I've ever gotten out of a ring with, Matt. I'm being dead serious. I'm not exaggerating. This wasn't Perk Angle for the haters that hate on TNA, Kurt Angle's TNA run. He had some of the best matches of his career. Look up his match with AJ, by the way, folks. Keeping score at home. But, dude, Nigel is an animal inside that ring with ring psychology. He's so good. Nothing he does has been done before him. Watch how he works a body part. It's very original. And I always wish I had the opportunity to work with him because I know he would have made me look like $1 trillion, way better than I really was. And I never got that opportunity because by then TNA screwed the pooch and something happened with his health where he wasn't able to wrestle for us actively in the ring anymore at that point. So it's a huge deal. Nigel McGuinness comes out on AEW TV and calls out Bryan Daniels. What's his name with AEW? Yeah, Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon.
Yeah.
The upcoming Arthur Ashe pay-per-view, and I will pay any money to watch that match because I know Brian, I know him, and I know he knows how important Nigel was to his career in Ring of Honor before he went to WWE, became the superstar he became. So I will bet my life, my house even, on the fact that Brian's going to make him look like a legend in that match, and I'm there to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to be enthusiastic. I'm seeing a lot that people are enthusiastic about.
So let me give you an example. So Glenn, like when you start off a match, you lock up, you start chain wrestling, blah, 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 jerk off. And then eventually you grab a wrist and you start working it. He's the first wrestler I've ever seen, he being Nigel McGuinness, to take a wrist lock and slam, and somehow the opponent slam down on their shoulder on the mat, taking a face bump. I've never seen anybody do that, including Kurt, including Chris Benoit, including Eddie Guerrero. I've never seen either of those three. I spent a lot of time on the road working against leaders that were considered the best mat tacticians at the time. As Nigel is the first person I've ever seen do that. He's so good.
No, I think I'm glad people are excited about a lot of what's going on in AEW. It's like, even though I'm not watching it on a weekly basis, it's like,
now's the time to check in. You need to check it once. Just spot check it once because the storylines are pretty good right now.
Dude, SmackDown has just been. I mean,
Oh,
they're going back to USA. I think they're finally gonna try
SmackDown's
again.
you can't compare the two, but
Yeah,
but
I know
but
they haven't been trying though.
AEW's getting some cohesive storylines moving forward for what it's worth.
Aside from Jacob Fatu, there's nothing I'm really excited about in SmackDown right now.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean,
I do
it's
feel
and
the
so
same
well,
way.
yeah, it's like I need Roman back. I need some stuff to happen.
I agree with
Raw
that.
2 hours is going to be interesting. Oh, we didn't talk about Hammerstone showing up on NXT Tuesday.
I was disappointed in the pop. Come on, NXT Arena. You should have went bananas for that guy. He actually looks like he kicked somebody's ass in a fight. You've got a guy that's got muscle and can work. And you're all like, oh, we have to wait till the Hammerstone signal comes on the green screen, and then we'll cheer for him. The minute that dude walked out, your show with bananas for him, and you didn't. I was angry at that. I did not like that, Glenn. I didn't like
But
it because I
like
love him, even though he stole my finisher. I still love him.
And I like the idea. It reminded me of 3 O'Clock High. The Tony D'Angelo hired Hammerstone to fight Obafemi, like
I
Jerry
like that
Mitchell.
part. I do like the storyline connection, by the way. I did like that.
Yeah. But okay, so realistically,
He's not
aside
beat
from
Obafemi. We knew that.
Yeah, I know. But aside from a returning Brock Lesnar, who do you think on any WWE roster can believably, credibly beat Obafemi right now?
Braun Breaker.
You think so?
Yeah. He's on the main roster eating people alive.
You know what it is about Oba? We haven't seen Oba smile, really. Like, he smirks. I feel like a lot of these guys give it away. You talked about this before. I remember before we were like, this was years ago when Braun Strowman, had his power run. And the first time I said, yeah, but as soon as we saw him smile and we saw those dimples, you were like, oh, now I can't unsee that.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be a killer. When
I know.
somebody has size as part of their gimmick and like killer as part of their gimmick, yeah, if they're a heel face, I don't care what they are. We don't need to see them smiling. You need to save that smile for something that means something that's important, and it won't go against them. P.S. being a killer.
Yeah, when Braun was teaming with Alexa Bliss and doing Team Little Big and that
destroyed it. Destroyed it. That was so dumb.
He became a different type of superstar. He was no
longer. He's adding depth to his character, man. He's adding an extra layer. How's that working? How's it working? Seriously,
I mean, look,
nobody paid. Listen to me. I'll give you the best Star Wars example I can give to every nerd on here. Nobody paid Chewbacca to smile. They didn't.
No, it's tough. Like but Kevin Owens bounced back from hiding in a porta potty. I mean, that was like
different. He's not a big dude. He's a heavy set guy that looks like every man, right? So he's easy to get behind because fans can identify. I look like that dude. And therefore, it's easy to get behind that guy. It is.
Yeah. Jacob Fatu, Chris Bricks is a good one. Jacob Fatu and Obafemi, that would be dope.
Jacob would super kick his face off, my opinion. And they better book it that way if they ever had faced off.
I talked about this before. I saw on the indies Jacob wrestle King Fat Boy Papa Esco, and it was just 2 big dudes throwing each other around, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I'll guarantee you, Donuts Dollar, Jacob was the one to do more of the athletic stuff in that match.
Yeah,
right.
But that was incredible. Like Jacob Fatu, like seriously, it's like, that's the funny thing. They pushed Solo on this, and it's like I like Solo a great deal, but Jacob, like everyone else in the baby bloodline, is backing band. Jacob is a star.
Jacob should be the pretend tribal chief for now. I agree. It's pretend because it's really Roman, right?
It's really Roman. We all know it's Roman.
Yeah.
What have you been watching on TV that's not wrestling or politics lately?
Netflix. What have I been watching on Netflix? I watch a lot of like witch and like magical power shows, if I'm being honest, on Netflix, like series. Oh, no. I'll tell you what I watched. Vikings lately.
Okay.
I'm a little like late on the uptake on the Viking series. I'm all caught up. I'm caught up on the latest like spin-off of the Viking series, if you will, on Netflix as well. But I just downloaded Netflix maybe like a little late to the party here on my phone 6 months ago. So I'm catching up on everything.
I've been disappointed lately. There's like nothing that's really, really grabbed me. I was a big mark for Evil on Paramount Plus, but that just ended.
It's always a series specific, right? That you download. Like, I downloaded a Paramount to watch what? What do you think I watched? What I downloaded?
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
That's about it.
I guess that for me it was Yellow Jackets. For Matt, it was Yellowstone. That describes our differences right
So
now.
for me, Showtime had Yellow Jackets, and I watched that series. I love that series, by the way. And Dexter's last season.
Yeah. Chris Brick's talking about Reacher. I'm looking forward to, and there's going to be a Neely spinoff. Did you watch Reacher?
I don't like how, I think this is so contradictory to me.
Yeah.
That dude's so on the gas that I don't know how I feel, because I on one hand, 50% is like, I appreciate him being on the gas to look the part. I do. But then the other part of me is like, I don't know, because I read the book, right? I read every
Really?
Jack Reacher. Yes. And I started wrestling at the time when those came out. As far as books went. And I don't want to ruin the illusion I have in my head of what I personally think Jack Reacher's supposed to look like.
Okay.
So in my head, it's Tom Cruise, but jacked. This guy's a good-looking guy, but he's not Tom Cruise and jacked. He's jacked, but just not Tom Cruise and jacked. No, that's silly, but that's what I put in my head all these years.
I thought Tom Cruise did an okay job in the movies, but I really like the guy they got for the TV series. I like the way he acts. I mean, it's actually not.
Well, he's actually supposed to be a very good actor. So, like, Gangs of London, Wyatt Earp and Cowboy War. That's something new I'm watching.
Okay.
I'm trying to go through it now, what I'm watching. A little late to the party, but Ragnarok, right? I know that's late.
Oh, yeah. That was
Black Sails. I'm on my last episode as we speak of that.
Talk to me about these witchcraft shows that you built. Is that like a wife? Yeah.
That's what I was looking at.
I'm just flashing back to Time Life Mysteries of the Unknown commercials in the Enchanted World. And as people, longtime listeners of our podcast know, I was very interested in magic as a child until I learned it was the art of illusion and not the actual dark arts.
Keep talking. I'm going to find it.
Yeah. No, I think it's fascinating. We watched some of the paranormal stuff. I'm never watching a DB Cooper documentary again until they legit figure out who he was, because all these documentaries are bullshit. We've got a new theory on DB Cooper, and it's like, it might not be true.
So Mindhunter's one. Legacies is another one. The Sandman is another one.
Oh, Sandman, really? That does
I tried to watch
Ripley.
I couldn't get through it because I'm not mature enough.
That's like a grown-up show.
Discovery of Witches.
Okay.
Tried to watch The Preacher. It was too much comedy, so I let go on episode 2. Travelers, really like the Travelers. The Magicians, really like that. I'm missing my main eventers, and I don't know why it's not on my list right now. Maybe because I completed the series.
Oh, got it. Yeah, and that's the other.
Dropped off. Dark was good too. Sorry.
Oh, but that's the problem with everything these days. Is like you watch it and then you forget it 3 days later. Like
that's not wrong. Yeah.
It's like, oh, that was a really good series, and it's like I can't even tell you everything we watched last week. Actually, I saw a John Candy movie I'd never seen before, which is kind of a big deal.
What was it called?
It's called Only the Lonely. And he plays like a 40-year-old cop who lives with his like overbearing mom, and then he meets a girl he likes, and his mom gets in the way. And he was if you thought if you like John Candy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles when he's a little more serious,
I did.
This was more in that vein. He was very good in it. It was an okay movie, but he was phenomenal in it. What a loss as a talent.
All right, Glenn, give them a little bit of wrestling talk while I go to the bathroom.
A little bit of wrestling talk. SmackDown is coming back to USA this week, and we're gonna have a steel cage match between Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa. Are you excited for that? And also, what's the difference between a steel cage and Hell in a Cell? I feel like this is really trying to sell us the same thing, just under different names, right? It's a little bit some people say Hellman, some people say Best Foods. It's still just mayonnaise. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be strong. I think it's going to be a good match. Matt, how do you use the restroom so quickly? I go to the bathroom and when I have to go, number one, like I'm in there for like 5 minutes. And Matt,
What's that?
you just pee faster than anyone I've ever known. Matt's always like, I need to use the restroom, and then he's back in 60 seconds.
Got to be quick. Half the time's washing your hands, right? You just got to get it out and go.
That's true. So if you skip that, so yeah, SmackDown back on, and it's kicking off the show. The Steel Cage. Matt, what's the difference between Steel Cage and Hell in a Cell?
It's a great question. That they put so Steel Cage goes up and it closes the ring. It closes the ring off as far as if you hit the ropes, you're going to end up hitting the cage. Whereas Hell in a Cell is like a foot or two, if you will, from the bottom up around the ring. So it gives you some room to play around like 2 or 3 feet worth of width space around the ring if you wanted to.
Okay. I mean, tomato. But it'll be a hot show. SmackDown, regardless. WNBA playoffs are starting soon.
Oh, you don't need to tell me. My wife and I are the biggest Caitlin Clark marks on the planet. And it sucks we lost to Las Vegas last night. The Aces.
Vegas is the best. It's going to be champs again, 3-peat.
Asia Wilson played.
Asia Wilson's
and she
the best.
destroyed us. She absolutely destroyed us. But hoping that the Fever can get an upset win, and get a little bit deeper into the playoffs, hopefully, because that's a huge win. The fact that they got the playoffs that off to be the last place team last year is a major coup, major win for that franchise.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be good. So I bought, Matt, for the first time in 25 years, I bought NBA 2K25. And I don't know if you know this, the game has a WNBA mode in 2K25. So it's got all the men's teams, and then if you scroll over on the menu to WNBA, it's got dynasty mode, it's got a career mode, it's got all the WNBA teams, all the WNBA players.
Has all the players?
All the players.
Do they play like they're supposed to play?
Yeah, dude, it's good. I've been playing it. I played through as the Aces. I abolished salary cap, so I signed Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. So I got them with Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum.
That's
I got like
not
a dominant team.
That's so not fair. Yeah. So hold up. Wait, time out. So you have Asia Wilson, Caitlin Clark, who else?
Kelsey Plum, Kate Martin. I mean, I've got like Jackie
Kelsey,
Young.
No, you said another rookie that was very big.
Kate Martin is huge out here.
No, bigger
people
than
left
her.
her here. Angel Reese. Angel Reese.
You have Angel Reese.
Yeah.
And Martin.
Yeah. I've got like the dominant team in the WNBA.
And Plum, Kelsey Plum.
Yeah. I love Kelsey Plum.
Wait, how were you able to do that? Because they let you do a draft?
Well, so yeah, you could basically, I wasn't able to do it the first season. So it starts with the current rosters, but then once you get past like 2 or 3 years, then you can start bidding on players.
That's like that's a beyond the dream team. That's like an all decade team waiting to happen.
Yeah, but the game is fun. I like the gameplay in 2K25. It's been a while since I played it. 2K. I used to play those all the time, but it's tight,
so
man.
What is the name of the game again?
It's NBA 2K25.
2K25. Okay.
It's available PlayStation and Xbox. It's got all the men's and the regular NBA, but
Does
WNBA
Caitlin shoot the shit out of the ball like she should be, or no?
Dude, it's so easy to make threes with Caitlin.
Really?
Like, yeah, you can make threes anywhere outside. Like
2K25. Okay.
Yeah, it's good, and you don't need to buy. Don't fall for. Oh, I need to buy the Hall of Fame edition. Just buy the basic ass game.
Okay.
And then it's got the full WNBA mode. It's very good.
My wife's rocking a Caitlin Clark shirt as we speak. Yeah. So
I'm waiting for playoff tickets to go on sale because I want to go. Dude, I went to an Aces game. That was so much fun.
They're the defending champs with 3 dream teamers. I should hope so.
Yeah, so much fun. Yeah, Sean. I believe it's available. It's on that. I bought it on the Xbox One X digital. But yeah, like, dude. But you know what's funny about it? I didn't know this. Do regular NBA do this too? Like, Aces had a DJ going the entire, even during gameplay, a DJ spinning records.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah,
that's what they're trying to do, draw more fans, and I agree. It's a good thing.
basketball's so fun live because it moves fast, not like baseball where bring a book with you because it's boring. Or even with, but the pitch clock has made baseball a little bit faster.
It has improved it in that manner. Yes, it has.
Yeah.
But it's still not the same as
No.
not even close.
I need to go close my garage door, but Matt,
All right, brother.
tell Ronaldo about your favorite memory in TNA, and I'll be right back.
No. We're gonna stay and close the show after. Or not. Favorite memory in TNA, Ronaldo, is definitely my storyline against the Main Event Mafia, where I was supposed to go through each Main Event Mafia member one by one in order to get to the leader of that group, which was Kurt Angle at the time, right? So I had to go through Booker T at first, then get through Kevin Nash, get through Scott Steiner, get through Sting, to eventually qualify to go against Kurt Angle at what our WrestleMania at the time for TNA was called back then, back in the day, thousands of years ago, called Bound for Glory. And it was my best wrestling match of my career. We went 24 minutes, which for me was an extra 10 minutes. I've ever wrestled longer before, because for a big guy, you shouldn't be going that long, right? You should be killing your opponents within short time to help build you up. So I had to lose a lot of weight for that match and get my cardio up, and I did that. And Kurt brought the best out of me. He's my greatest opponent as far as the best match I've ever wrestled goes. But I'm also very proud of my match versus Ric Flair. But like, oh man, he was like 80,000 years old. It doesn't matter. That was like a legend for me growing up as a kid. And it was an honor to work him in the ring. And more importantly, for him to be able to say, hey, Matt needs to beat me in this match. He could have said, no, I'm beating Matt, because he's a legend. And he didn't do that. So number one, Kurt Angle. Number two, Ric Flair for TNA. And good job, Glenn, being back. Let me go to the comments while we're waiting. OSW recently covered your match against Kurt Angle and loved it. What's OSW? Veggie Gamer, what's OSW? I don't know what that is. Tell me that down for me. Waiting on Veggie Gamer to respond. Liberty. Okay, so Shauna Garner says Liberty's going to win the title. Okay, so on paper, they're set to win it. You're not wrong. You're not. Sean Garner, you're not wrong. But let's see what happens, because I always root for the underdog. All right. OSW Review. It's an Irish podcast on YouTube that covers different wrestling storylines. Thank you, Veggie Gamer. I didn't know what the hell that was. Hi, Matt. First time watcher is Sean NG. Hi, Sean. Thanks for joining our show. Usually we have Raj on here as well, but he's too lazy to join us on the show. He's not too lazy. Matt, since you like how'd you know I like paranormal shows? Have you ever tried Supernatural? Yeah, years ago I watched Supernatural. Yes, I did. Bear Hudson for a $5 super chat. What did you guys think of the Hangman Page and Swerve match? And did it go too far? Okay, so I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it didn't go too far, because I know that's a context AEW is constantly trying to do and make everybody talk the next day. And they're willing to go past the point of no return to make everybody talk about it. Hang on, guys. You're going way too fast for me here. You got to slow down. All right. Sean NG, I saw you on Renee's Dupree's podcast. Yeah, Renee's a good buddy of mine when I first was in OVW. Hang on. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody's comments. Why wouldn't it go up? So to Matt the Legend. Matt, what did you do for your birthday? Hope it went well. I spent dinner eating my favorite thing on the planet, which is sushi, Bay Ridge Sushi, in the city of Longwood, Florida, which is my favorite restaurant, with my family. Matt, what did you do for your... I already just answered that. Is Julia going to beat Roxanne for the title? That's a tough question.
I don't think so.
I think they will, because Roxanne's more than ready for the main roster. Bear Hudson, who should beat Obafemi for the title? I mean, no disrespect to him or that title. I just don't see that title as a main, like, it's not the same thing as a world championship to me. It's just not. They put it on him so he can be in his own category, being undefeated. Similar to Jade Cargill when she was AEW, with the TNT champion or whatever the hell it was, TBS championship at the time, right? She was undefeated, but nobody gave a shit about that title. She's had a great run with the title this time. Yeah, she's had a great run. She's been a great NXT women's champion. I agree with you on that, Justin. She's very much better. She definitely exceeded my expectations when I first saw her to where she's at now. She's very good, Roxanne. One of the best women wrestlers, in my opinion. I answered this.
Okay. So my garage door.
That took way too long for you to press one button and close.
No, it's coming off the track. It's not. It was starting to close, and then it wasn't closing. I'd use the emergency release. Have you done this before?
Are you kidding me? We just did it like 2 weekends ago. Yes.
Now I gotta get someone to come out. Let me tell you something about Vegas and homeowner. Is it like this in Florida, where every contractor you deal with, you just feel like you're rolling the dice on, are they even going to finish the work that you're hiring them to do? It's like you can get them for
because I'm an
day.
elected official, and
that's right.
If they F up, I'm posting that shit everywhere.
Yeah. I think about that. It's like, you know what I missed? You remember Adam Carolla did a show called To Catch a Contractor, and he would hunt down people. Yeah, he did the show like 10 years ago. Hilarious. He would hunt down people who didn't finish people's kitchens and
Good
stuff.
For him. I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
it's like, dude, it's like we've had some good work done, but I swear to God, in Vegas, there's been so many people that we owe them money if they will just finish the job. It's like we pay the half up front and they just never show up and finish it. It's crazy.
All right, so we got the crack in here.
Yeah, okay. We should probably wrap it up.
Yes.
We've given the people a lot today. It's been a little all over the place, but Thursday's going forward same time. Raj will be here to keep us in line. It'll be good. Good
you guys
times.
won't like it as much. Just kidding.
Yeah, it won't be as fun.
Not really.
And good times. So Matt, everyone can find Matt online at BP Matt Morgan. I'm at Glenn Rubenstein. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll catch you back here next time on Gigantic Pop. Take care.
Thanks, gang.